Good morning, world. I did wake up way early, and the idea was to photograph the comet, but I think it was already too light by that point. So I didn't. And I went back to sleep for a little bit, which has now led me to the mad rush that we're in now. And I'm going to head back to that little tarn that I photographed last night. I'm going to be on the west side of it. The sun's coming up on the east side, and it's colourful. Now, for the first sunrise, this side of the summer solstice, I'm pretty happy with what I'm getting. It's going to be a long day, Loughrigg Pike ahead of me, but totally worth getting sunrise every time. Right, waffling over. Welcome to this week's vlog. The pink's faded. I've lost it. That can't be it. It's only 4:47 in the morning. Something's blocked it. Something has blocked it. Which is no good. I was hoping for like a nice ethereal music in the background. But it's gone. The colour is gone. Oh. That's well annoying. There's definitely not pink over there. So something's come in and snuffed my light. Couldn't make it up. So I think I'm just gonna sit, relax, see what happens, see if it comes back. It might do. Fingers crossed it does. But wow, that's so unfortunate. That's quite something. Do you remember that? In fact, I'm going to play you a little clip of how pink that was. Oh, I think I've still got a little bit of pink over here, so it might grow again. Anyway, waffling over. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna see what happens. Yeah. So you'll know when I know. If I know, then you'll know. And then we'll know that it's good and we're on. But for the moment, just enjoy the view. Enjoy the view. So the light never came back. But I did take an image. And the image I took, I exposed for the land and then for the sky, but because it's so flat, there might have been a little bit of pink in the background. Might have been. But I think I'm going to sack off this composition here and then find a composition shooting towards Langdales, relying on the fact eventually this is going to get high enough, the sun's going to get high enough that I may get some alpine glow hitting the top of them Langdales. And if I did, it would be good. It would. So that's what I think I'll do. Hopefully not the same composition as last night though. Or as in last week. Because that's now last week for you guys. Weird. Yeah. So I'll see you across there then, pal. Yeah? Okay, see you there. So for the eagle eye viewer, you'll notice that we haven't left. And we're back where we were before. And that's because I went over there, I scouted the next location, and it looks good. Pre-warning, looks very good. But yeah, it wasn't ready yet. It was still a long way off. And this is just started to kick off again. So I'm going to jump into video mode and, show you what I'm looking at, what I'm working with, people. So I've got this mountain range in the background over here, which is like my focal point, and it's very in the distance. And I've got so many layers coming round, and giving that depth. I've got a band of colour coming across the top and across in the water. And the most perfect reflections, colour, mountain, everything looks absolutely beautiful. I'm going to underexpose for the sky. I'm going to capture that as colour first. So I've got my settings on ISO 31, f11, and that gives me a 1/5 of a second exposure. And look at that colour. Doesn't that look absolutely beautiful? And then I'm just going to lift that exposure slightly. It doesn't need to be huge amounts because I'd quite like the idea of the hills being silhouetted. Maybe playing on the fact that some are slightly lighter than others to give that depth, but not to completely take away from the fact that it's early morning and it's beautiful. I'm kind of hoping the sun's going to come up a little bit and maybe light up between the layers. But I'm making sure to keep my eye on the clouds above, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm being very careful to make sure I'm looking at these clouds here and here, because when they start to light up, that means there's a good chance that over here is starting to light up, and that's where my next shot is. And they're starting to go. So I'm going to quickly make my way across and hopefully get this shot of the Langdales. But pretty happy with my first exposure. That's pretty nice. Pretty. Very pretty. Oh yeah, so this is our second composition. I've got these little foxgloves just down here, the Langdales in the background, and it's kicking off in that direction. Absolutely kicking off. But what I am getting over here is that alpine glow, that thing that I love almost as much as just look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Lift the exposure a little bit, get them foxgloves. It's just magical. Drop that exposure again to get that cloud. Basically, it's a full package. But I kind of want to get more shots with that involved. So I think it's time to go photograph the tent. I think. Might be a little bit of a mess though. So I'm going to head up there to the tent and make sure it's nice and tidy. And yeah, I'll see you there. So here we are. This is the tent and its location. Super sick location, I have to say again. And just look at that as a possibility of even a shot already. This is coming quick and fast though, so I'm going to have to get set up. I think I'm going to hide my camera bag around the front of the tent. Hello, Pauline. That's Pauline enjoying the view. But why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I want to be behind it, but I also kind of want to extend the tripod so it's nice and high. So I'm going to do that and then get this shot because that sun is about to come over the brow. It's not working, bro. It's not working. Okay, switching plan. Now I'm going to come right behind the tent. What I was finding was I wasn't high enough to give the correct perspective. But if I come above the tent It might work. It might work indeed. But I am losing this shot. Oh, there's even fog down in the valley. There's even clouds in the valley. Oh, today. What a day to be alive. So my main concern when setting up this close to the tent is that I cut parts of the tent off. And for that last shot, the one that I just got of the Langdales, I had it in a 4-5 crop. So I've had to make sure that I've changed it back from a 4-5 crop. Didn't mean to capture that. Okay, I got to say, it's not the prettiest picture I've ever seen of a tent on a mountaintop, but it's all right. It's all right. So I'm going to capture the first image of the tent. There it is. Yeah, looks a bit skew with, bit wonky, not ideal, really. But, you know, really I should have captured this image last night. And there we are, of the light. There may be a few more images that get added on to the end of this vlog, but as a part of us vlogging together, yeah, that's probably going to be it for the end of it this morning. I hope you've enjoyed the vlog. It has been quick, furious, and running around, forwards, backwards, left and right. But what a beautiful morning. In fact, what I'm going to leave you with is not me waffling on, as I'm going to put on a time lapse of the sun coming over the crest of that hill. So I'll leave my images first, and then there's a time lapse at the end. So stay to the end, because it should be pretty sweet. Yeah. Peace out, peeps.
If you talk all the time, you'll never hear what anybody else has to say. And therefore all you'll have to talk about is your own conversation. The same is true for people who think all the time. That means, when I use the word think, talking to yourself, subvocal conversation, the constant chit-chat of symbols and images and talk and words inside your skull. Now, if you do that all the time, you'll find that you've nothing to think about except thinking. And just as you have to stop talking to hear what others have to say, you have to stop thinking to find out what life is about. And the moment you stop thinking, you become into immediate contact with the unspeakable world.